everyone, Voodoo here, and in today's video I want to talk about a tank trinket that's been going around and honestly seems pretty good for both Havoc and other melee damage dealers. So I want to talk about if it's actually good, if it's bait, if it's bis, and that sort of thing. So we're gonna jump into that. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Help support the channel, and also follow me on Twitch and Twitter. They're both in the description if you just want more of my content. So with that, let's go into the video. So what trinket am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about Enduring Dreadplate. This drops from Kazara, the very first boss of the Avarice raid, which is the second raid in the cycle, and it's a tank trinket but comes with agility, so if you get it, it's actually not that bad. It's a 2-minute on use. Whenever you use it, you cover yourself with 5 plates. Each place reduces your damage taken by 23,000 and your movement speed by 3%. So basically it's like 120,000 damage reduction and roughly 15% movement speed reduction. Whenever you take about 200,000 damage, one of the plates falls off, reducing how much damage DR you have, how much speed reduction you have, and also dealing about 85,000 to 90,000 damage to everything in its path. That can only happen every 2 seconds. Then after 15 seconds, all remaining plates will fall off. So the reason this is good is because it is uncapped. And as we've learned this tier, I didn't make a video on it because it was nerfed too soon, but anything that's uncapped is very, very good. So this hits some crazy numbers in really large pulls, just because it hits everything, and it hits everything for pretty all right damage. 85,000 per bolt, and of course in crit it takes an increased magic damage scales with verse, all that stuff. With my character with 490 eye level here, it was hitting for about 98,000 per hit, about 300,000 on a crit because, you know, Havoc stuff, which is pretty solid damage, honestly. But whenever you use it, basically it's 2 minutes, you sit there, you wait. If you take damage, it'll happen sooner, but it's a weird DR, and then you shoot out beams. So we'll show it in action here. So I'll go up to these demos here, I will use it. So here we get a little bubble around me. We have this buff, Health Steel Plating, which is 115,000 DR, 15% movement speed. I'm a little slower here. And this is gonna tick out. Now you can't cancel or this, you can't right click it, it won't work. Remember, it fades naturally. You'll shoot out 5 of these beams, each one hitting for about 95,000, critting for about 250,000 or so. They travel off in a line. I think it's like 10 yards or something. It's a sizable line. They snake back and forth. It's pretty easy to hit things with it, actually, as long as they're like in front of you. And it deals a pretty decent chunk of damage. Now, the reason that this has been talked about recently is because of things like rogues have been really chasing after it from what I've seen. And I've seen a few people in the Havoc Discord kind of pop up and talk about if this is good or not. Now, I think it's very good in massive pulls, but I do think it's pretty bad outside of that. Just the fact that it doesn't really do much on single target. Like, sure, it does some damage, but delayed damage, the damage reduction thing on it isn't really that good. It's not like a shield or anything like that. It's just a straight up DR, which doesn't really help. It's just a flat damage reduction, which is not very good against the things that kill Havoc, which are one-shots. Shields are much better there. And it's just kind of weird to use, right? Like, obviously it's going to be good in massive targets because it's uncapped. But in anything else, for most people, I just don't think it's worth it. But I do have some sims, and I have the reason why I'm talking about this. So we'll jump over to that right now, and I'll spit a little bit more about this trinket. Because again, you know, it's weird, but it does exist, and it's not actually that bad if you have it. So this is the reason why I want to talk about this in the first place. Now, I don't have all the pictures like this. I've seen a few sims like this over the past few days. But this basically right here is someone's drop optimizer that has Enduring Dreadplate above Ashes of the Ember Soul as a DPS increase. Now, this is with drop optimizer, which I will hazard, of course. Drop optimizer is weird, but Dreadplate can be pretty good if you're hitting a lot of targets all the time. Now, I have my own sims here that I've done, and we're going to go over right now. Let me just move my head over here. Let's get into it. So let's start off with a gear compare for 5-minute 10 boss targets. Now, this is going to be the biggest one, right? It's going to be 10 targets. This is the highest AoE you can sim easily on raid bots. Probably could have simmed higher, but whatever. And what I did here is I simmed our top trinket combinations for Mythic Plus. I simmed Ashes and Pips, which is the highest overall damage. I simmed Ashes and Grief Torch, which is our more so recommended one. There's a Grief Torch bug which makes it better, that it isn't accurately represented here, but also because it's priority. Then I also simmed just Dreadplate replacing each one of those trinkets, right? So Ashes Dreadplate, Ashes Pips, Dreadplate Pips, and Dreadplate Grief Torch. All I can see here, it's not actually that much better. Now, it's very, very close, right? This is like 0.6%. So if you do want a defensive trinket in very massive AoE, it can be fine. Now, I would recommend getting something like Farak's Rage Heart or the Ward of the Faceless Ire instead, because those will actually help you live. The defensiveness from this is not very valuable for Havoc. It's better for tanks that are taking melees that get reduced. but it does okay damage in 10 target, which is crazy. You're never fighting a 5-minute 10 boss target. Also here have a D-Slice sim with this gear compare. Again, we can see it a lot lower on D-Slice. Significantly so actually compared to some of the top options here. These two are 0.7 difference. This is almost a 3.1% jump. You can see it's a lot worse in the Dungeon Slice sim, which are a lot smaller sims and are also more primarily single target focused with bosses and stuff like that. Then I decided to run Droptimizer. So this is 5-minute 10 boss target. We'll see here that it is a 2.4% upgrade over my worst trinket here, which, you know, it's fine. But that is still roughly about 1%, 6.6% behind Ashes of the Ember Soul here, which is, of course, our best option. And going over to look at the Season 4 Raid Vendor, just straight up Droptimizer in D-Slice, it's not even in the good options here listed. It is down here at a slight loss. So what does this mean? Well, obviously, like any completely uncapped trinket, Enduring Dreadplate, absolutely insane in large AoE. If you are constantly pulling MDI style pulls, you're pulling like 20 plus mobs, 15 mobs, 17 mobs every, I don't know, 2 minutes or so, something like that, and you can actually have that 15 seconds go off where most of them are alive still, then yeah, Dreadplate can be pretty good for you. But I think for most players who are playing this game, you know, you're going to hit a boss, you're going to hit a mini boss, you're going to hit pull size that's under 10 that you can't really, you know, make that big. And Dreadplate's just not going to do that well there, and it's really not going to be worth it for you running this. On top of that, you also have to be very cognizant about how you use it, because after that 15 seconds is up and you can't cancel aura it, if you click off the buff, it stops working. After that 15 seconds is up, it goes just where you're facing. So if you're fell rushing around, if you're flipping, whatever, it'll go off in wherever direction you're facing. I don't know if this can pull other stuff. I haven't tested that, but of course you can play around that, but it does just add a little extra complex thing. So I do think this is, for the most part, bait, because again, right, it can definitely be good if you're doing those large pulls. It has a little bit of defensive benefit to it. Generally speaking, that benefit's not going to be realized for Havoc. This kind of trinket where you just take less damage while it's equipped is a lot better for smaller hits, like melees that are going to hit you, not one-shots, which is Havoc's issue, where shields are a lot more important, right? And also there's a movement speed, which Havoc's movement speed doesn't really matter, it offsets it. But in single target, not that good. I mean, we see on D-Slice here, right? It's literally a loss compared to my 489 trinkets, which is saying something, right? So it's a loss on there, much worse than something like Ashes of the Ember Soul would be. It's going to be a loss on lower target counts again because of this D-Slice sim. We know it's doing like 2 to 3 and then 4 to 8 boss, like enemy packs, which is very common for most players in Mythic Plus. And of course, if you're doing bigger pulls than that, generally speaking, you don't really need this video. But yeah, I don't know. It's fun. If you have a ton of bullions, you can get one. That's the kind of the beauty of the season. But I wouldn't recommend going and picking one up like immediately. I don't think it's better than all the trinkets we currently have, even on 10 boss targets, 5 minutes, which is a crazy sim and would never actually happen. It's worse than other options, right? So there you go. There you have it. That's kind of the talk on Dreadplates for today. Quick little video. Just wanted to cover it because I thought it was kind of interesting. Obviously, this is really good for Vengeance. So if you're a Vengeance Demon Hunter trying to go Havoc, you have this already. Totally use it, very fine there. But if you're a Havoc and you only play Havoc, probably would skip out on this for now. Maybe buy it later in the season to mess around with when you have a ton of bullion and it doesn't really matter. But for now, when bullions are very important, I would pass. So hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you are going to pick it up or not. Obviously, this is just a recommendation. Let me know if it works out for you. Let me know if it doesn't. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. Help support me. And follow me on Twitch in the description. I'm trying to stream 3 to 4 times a week. I post the stream schedule on my Discord. Follow me on Twitter as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you, Sky Elk, Andrew Keenel, 100,001 Zans, Brad Wisniak, Felfa Darren Dark Terror, and Magic Man 133. Thank you all so much. If you want to help support me and help fund the channels and the videos, follow the link in the description to become a channel member and get some cool perks in the process. Again, thank you all so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.